just gonna let y'all do your thing.
What I say.
There you go.
And if you lose, it'll help you. Oh, yeah.
That's a way to start the show right there. Week 6 coming in hot.
Week 6, guys. Week 6. What does that mean?
I'm still a Steelers fan.
It means that we're not even halfway done yet, guys.
Third way, kind of. Third way through the season.
The only way out is through. The only way in is out.
Checks out.
I like that math. It does. I like how you operate. Like,
I'm still a Steelers fan. I think Jared's given up.
I'm not a Steelers fan anymore.
Damn.
Well,
I'm sadly still a Panthers fan.
That's pretty wishy-washy.
Kenny Pickett's got it this week. It's going to happen. He's definitely going to cover.
Pickett's good, man. 357 yards against the Bills' defense.
100%. I mean, I'm totally confident in taking the Steelers at plus 21.
Well, let's talk about that more once we get to that game.
Just buy the points, ladies and gentlemen. Buy the points.
By about 10 points in the Steelers game, you should be okay.
10 on top of the 8, yes, correct.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I bought it at 21 and a half.
That's what I did last week, and had them at plus 17 and a half. You know what? It's fine. Everything's fine. Let's just wait for Drinkwan to come sliding in here.
And last week, so how did we do?
I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm actually looking forward. We're looking at the future. Nothing that you can do about the past. But you can change the present and the future.
Uh-oh. Wait a second.
There he is.
What up? We're here.
Hey.
The title is up. The bio is in. Week 6. We got serenaded to start the video. Thanks for that. Look at Gator Dave in the chat. Who gets the crown? We don't need to talk about that yet, Dave. Let's go ahead and show let's show last week's picks, and then we can get into who's retaining the crown this week. And I say,
What did you say? You said retaining?
Retaining is the key word, yes. So if you look, I actually had the best record last week. I went 8-4, but it still doesn't matter because Public House went 6-6, so he still is, believe it or not, the reigning current leader of the show.
Yeah. I think I've only had one negative week, actually.
Yeah, you've been pretty good.
You're due for about a 0-12 week, and I'm due for a 12-0 week, so...
If anybody is due for 12-0, it's going to be the chef. I'm telling you right now. That's who I got my money on this week for 12-0.
I like to bet on myself in these situations. And that's why I have no money.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, let's get into this. Let me throw up. Where's his medal?
Get out of here.
Let's give the guy his medal.
Get out of here.
What is he talking about? He's saying the Garen. It's the Garen thing, right?
Yeah, I don't even know who those people are.
I do. Anyway, Team Garen.
Some studs. There's some studs.
First game of the week that we're going to discuss. We got 12 of them for you guys again, and we got some anytimes that we're going to throw at you as well. First game, we're kind of going in reverse here, it seems. We're going to go on Monday night as the first game we talk about. It's going to be Chargers and the Broncos. I absolutely hate this Broncos team. Their offense is dog water. For whatever reason, Russ and Nathaniel Hackett, they are best buddies. They are always with each other. They had all those great interviews in the offseason, but they cannot seem to get anything going, and they are struggling pretty bad right now. The defense is literally the only reason that they've won any games. Team's got like 16 sacks. Bradley Chubb is going insane. They've got a ton of interceptions, ton of forced fumbles. So really the only reason that they've won any games this year is that defense. They got a great pass defense, so they'll go up against Herbert and they'll be able to kind of hang with him a little bit. I am on the under here. I like under 45. I think these defenses are going to come to play. Ultimately, I think Denver's defense is going to come to play. And the Chargers defense isn't really going to have to do too much because Denver's offense is not great. So I'm on the under here. Public House, what say you, sir? You are the leader. Let's lead off with you.
Yeah, so I totally agree, man. I fucking do not like Broncos. One of those teams we thought in preseason that were going to fucking, blow our socks off, and it's been pretty lackluster, to say the least, I should say. Hoping for a little bit of a battle here. Hoping for some good anytimes. There's a lot of talent on both sides of the ball here, and I'm pretty excited. But I'm definitely on the Chargers here. I think Justin Herbert's kind of getting into the momentum of this season and is starting to, really start to shine. I think this game's going to be a big one for him. Like you said, both defenses are pretty good on the ball, but I think the Chargers kind of take a lead in the beginning and hold that lead. So I'm on the Chargers minus 4.5.
All right. Chef, who do you like here?
I don't love this game. The Broncos are just hot, steamy trash, and I do not have any faith in putting any money on them. I feel like it's going to be a close game, but I'm staying away from putting anything on the Broncos because it's just gross across the board. Mr. Unlimited is hot, steamy trash. Unlimited. No, go the fuck yourself. Yeah, give me the under in this one as well. Justin Simmons was designated to return from the IR for the Broncos, which is huge for their secondary, which, as Drinkline mentioned, is already playing their asses off, dealing with the atrociousness on the other side of the ball. I think the under is the play here. So give me the under 45.
Right on. Steel City, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are Denver is, as the chef put it, a pile of steaming hot doo-doo. But here's what I'll say. The Chargers are also not playing to where I think they should be playing. I think they've got a lot left in them. The Chargers are 4-1 at the spread. The Broncos are 1-4 at the spread. The Broncos are not very good away. They just had probably the worst Thursday night football game performance in who knows how many years. Russell Wilson wants the city to ride with him. No one is riding with him. He might be a $200 million mistake. And what I think is, to what Miami said, their defense is the only reason that they even come close to winning 2 games. Bradley Chubb is a monster up front. So, yeah, I hope Chubb will have his production. He's an elite player. But I think the Chargers handle this one from start to finish at home. I've got the Chargers minus 4.5. I think that the Chargers are just the better team overall, and at home they're pretty good. And Miami, correct me if I'm wrong, you threw out a stat earlier about Herbert's primetime play. What was it, 20 touchdowns, 4 picks, something along those lines?
Yep, started in 7
player
games.
With some stars around him. I think the Chargers outscore the Broncos in every way. The Broncos just can't score. They're just not good. So, Chargers all the way.
Right on. Next game we're going to talk about here is going to be the Chiefs and the Bills. This is probably the game that I'm most looking forward to this week. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be right down to the finish, just like it has been the last couple times these teams have faced. I like the over here, over 54. I think it's going to be a lot of points scored, a lot of back and forth. So I'm looking for like a 28 points at halftime kind of deal with this one. But yeah, I'm all over the over here. Chef, what are your thoughts on this one?
The fact that the Bills are a favorite makes me look like taking the Chiefs as a home dog. Like that's the play for me. Granted, give me the +3. I think it's going to be a tight game. I could very easily see Bills winning at Moneyline, but it being 34-35, 31-30, 27-28 type shit. So I'm taking the Chiefs in the points, +3. Very close game. I'm leaning over. It is just a lot of points, but I think the play is Chiefs in the points.
Right on. Steel City, thoughts here?
My thoughts are We finally have a game that the entire world is going to be watching. My play is the over. It's at 54 right now. I brought it up to 59.5 because this is going to be a shootout. It's going to be a hell of a game. The lock of the week is the over here for me. You cannot go wrong. Both teams are going to put up points. It's going to be a shootout. There's not going to be a coin flip determining the end of this game. Bills will get their revenge. It'll kind of be a passing of the torch for the regular season best team. The Bills still have to beat them in the playoffs, though. But I think Bills -7, first half bet is easy, and I think the over is the play. I think it's the lock of the week, over 54. Josh Allen and their team they're just too good. But Kansas City's going to put up points too because Buffalo's corners are struggling, so it's going to be a shootout.
Right on. Public House, thoughts here?
Yeah, pretty much totally agree with you guys. I don't know if you remember last year, but I think it was 18 points scored in the last 2 minutes of the game, like something ridiculous. Super amount of talent on both sides of the ball. Love the quarterbacks. Honestly, a toss-up game. The line's super short. That's why it's so short, because it might as well be a pick'em. Might as well be an even bet. I'm leaning on the Bills just because I'm a Josh Allen fan. I like him a lot. I think that he's going to get in Patty's head a little bit, do a little intimidation action. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm on the Bills here.
Right on. One stat I do want to throw out is Patrick Mahomes has not been an underdog very much in his career, but he is undefeated against the spread when he is. So it'll be interesting to see if that remains this week.
I got one more little tidbit. This is the first real defense Kansas City will face this season. They have not faced a real good all-around defense this year yet.
All right. Next game we're going to talk about here is going to be the Jets-Packers. Steel City, why don't you lead us off?
Well, here's what I think. It's last week was a fluke. We called it. We said weird things happen in London, and weird things happened in London. The Giants won. We knew it was going to be something weird. We all said it. Weird things happen in London when you travel. But I think this week, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers come alive. They always do this. They start slow, and then all of a sudden the Packers are 4 losses for the season. They're the number 1 seed out of their. It makes no sense. I don't get how they do it every year. I wish they would stop doing it. I cannot bet on the Jets. I do not believe in the Jets, especially not against the Packers. So I think Green Bay bounces back. They're going to be double-checking their way to an easy win. Take them with the points at minus. Is it 7.5 still?
I think you got it at -6.
That's even better. I love it.
Yeah, Packers -6 is what you got it. Public House, what do you think?
Yeah. So you guys know how I am about the old Green Bay. I love Aaron Rodgers. That's my guy. Truly, I think he's a straight up stud, man. I think that I really do. But my problem with the Packers this year is they just don't have the weapons. I mean, me and Mike were talking about it earlier. He doesn't necessarily have a receiver that he can pull the trigger if he's in trouble and hit. You know what I mean? Devontae Adams is gone. He doesn't have that man who can just he can tell, get downfield type of thing. And I think it's really getting in his head. I don't like that. I don't know if you guys paid attention to him on the Pat McAfee show every Thursday or Tuesday or whatever day he's on. But either way, on the Jets side of things, not that great of a team. Haven't seen a lot that's been wow, that's really crazy. That's really good. But the Jets have covered their spread more times than not this season, and I'm going to stick with that trend, so I'm on the Jets here.
Wow. All right. Jets in Lambeau for Jared. He thinks they continue the trend. Jets have, if I'm not mistaken, they've covered the last 2 weeks. Last week they won outright as a dog. They beat the Steelers pretty handily. Chef, what are your thoughts?
2 weeks ago there, Miami.
Oh, yeah. Last week they beat the shit out of my Dolphins pretty handily. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
So, yeah, but that's back-to-back underdog outright wins. So, that's some serious momentum.
Serious. Yeah.
I'm looking at the over in this one. I think there's going to be some points scored. That Packers defense, I know I've been high on them for much of the start of the year. They don't look great right now. And if there is a part of the Jets that does look pretty good, it's that offense. They got a few good young receivers. Breece Hall starting to look like he could be that dude for them. Their offensive line looks really nasty, even without Mekhi Becton. They're looking good there. They've got Dwayne Brown back at left tackle, which is a nice veteran presence for him. On the flip side, Aaron Rodgers is kind of pissed, and Aaron Rodgers coming off a loss, usually to play, he's usually going to put up some points after a loss. I think they get Aaron Jones involved in the passing game a lot this week because they don't really have that dude. Christian Watson's out, so I think they're going to try and feed Aaron Jones in the passing game and get A.J. Dillon the ball a lot. So give me the over 45. I think there's going to be some points scored in this one.
Right on. Yeah, I was actually torn with my pick between the Packers -6 and the under. I like the under a lot. That Jets defense is for real. They have been coming to play lately, making some serious stands, but they're going to go up against a tough test of Aaron Rodgers. Like we talked about just a second ago, they don't really have that wide receiver guy like Devontae Adams anymore in Green Bay. But Aaron Rodgers, he's never thrown a touchdown to a first-round pick until this year when he did it to Mercedes Lewis, who's about 80 years old. So, he makes it happen. That guy's unbelievable. It's really hard. We've talked about it before in some of these other shows. The two guys that you never want to bet against in the NFL right now are Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So I'm sticking with that code, and I'm going Packers -6. But I do also like the under. I was really torn. The Packers' pass defense is elite. Yes, the Jets are clicking as a pass offense right now, but I think Jair Alexander and those boys are going to have something to say about it. Give me the Pack in Lambeau for sure. Next one, we're going to talk about the Panthers and the Rams here. These Panthers just keep coming up on our board, man. I don't know what it is. You know where we're going to start off.
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? You know where we're starting? Bottom left, Chef. It is his squad. Chef, tell us why the Panthers stand a chance in this game after Matt Rule has been fired.
First and foremost, can we all just take a minute just to think?
Congratulations. Yes.
Matt Rule is gone. I like Rule now, but you know what? He's gone too, and I'm not mad at it. Our special teams coach is gone. I'm not mad at it. Wish we could have looked Ben McAdoo in there, but he's only been with the team for 5 weeks, so only so much. Somebody's got to be there, right? I love Steve Wilkes. I thought he got a raw deal when he was with the Cardinals. So the fact that he is getting another coaching opportunity, I think, is big. He's changed up our cadence in practice a little bit to get a little more juice.
There we go.
More full contact practices. I'm nervous. I think we'll cover. I hope, maybe. Yeah, I'm losing a lot of faith, as y'all can tell. I think it's great that Baker Mayfield's not playing. PJ Walker's going, and he's never lost as a starter. Our secondary is wildly banged up. I hope J.C. Horn goes. But he hasn't practiced all week. Dante Jackson was DNP today and was limited earlier in the week. C.J. Henderson was limited all week. Jeremy Chin is on the IR. Robbie Anderson is sick. He was added to the injury report for the DNP today. All that being said, teams are 5-0 when they have fired their coach within the first 5 weeks, that first game afterwards, in the last 5 years. So give me the Panthers. I'm taking the points. This is a heart play over a head play. It's going to be a rough rest of the year, but you know what? CJ Stroud 2023, let's get it popping.
Right on. Tank for CJ. Well, I can't blame mine on a heart play. I am actually with the Panthers as well. I like the Panthers +10. I'm not so much as betting on the Panthers as much as I am fading the Rams. I am not impressed at all with this Rams team. Their defense has looked a little shoddy. Jalen Ramsey does not look like the same guy that he's been. And Matthew Stafford doesn't either. I mean, he's totally carrying over that consistency of last year with turning the ball over. He's fumbled a ton this year. Interceptions are right there on track with where he was last year. Now, granted, they did win the Super Bowl. But typically, 30-plus interceptions a year are not going to get it done. I like the Panthers here. Like you said, that trend of the head coach being fired and the week after, those guys come to play. They rally. I think a lot of it also, too, is those, like you said, you mentioned with Steve Wilks sort of changing up the cadence. There's a little bit of some scheme changes. A little bit of, I think they're going to feed McCaffrey the ball. I think PJ Walker is going to be smart with the football. They're going to put him in positions to succeed. It's going to be a lot of Giants, Ben McAdoo, a lot of quick slants, and a lot of ground and pound, and doing stuff to the flat with McCaffrey. Give me the Panthers and the points, man. Let's do it. Steel City and Public House. Tell us why we are dead wrong, please.
Do you want us to talk at the same time? So here's what I'll say about this game. This was right there on the edge for me, being the third game of the week, but it is not. I've picked another game. It is a lot of points in the NFL. Any double-digit game is a ton of points in the NFL, but the Panthers, they're just really bad, and they're right there on the edge of me calling them a turd individually. The last two games, the Panthers have lost by more than double digits. Yes, they fired their coach, which is great. I know the chef is very happy about this. And it's the whole 5-0 stat and all this stuff. It will be 5-1 after this game. The Rams are playing at home and have played two sorry games against Dallas and the 49ers. But Stafford, this is it. He's got to perform this game. Otherwise, the Rams might be done. He's got to perform. He can throw 4 picks. That's fine as long as he throws 8 touchdowns. It's a must-play-well game for Stafford. And this is my last straw for the Rams. If the Rams blow this one, I am done with the Rams, and the Rams are no more. But Rams -10 at home. I'm trusting the better team on paper here with the Rams.
Okay. Public House, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to agree with Steel City that much, but I kind of agree with him here. I feel for Travis. I like you said, 10 points is a lot. And, the Panthers is your team, but dude, I don't know if I've ever seen worse football than the Panthers. I really don't. And I'm sorry to say that, but like you said, I'm rooting for whatever year you said, 2023. Let's get it. I'm with you on that one, but I can't be with you this week. I'm on the Rams. Like Steel City said, Matthew Stafford has not performed well at all, but I think the Rams are a much better team overall. I think that they outscore the Panthers by a lot. I don't even know if the Panthers even score a point with all the people that's out. I'm on the Rams -10. Don't really like this game personally, but definitely would float the Rams -10.
Fun little play. I think there's going to be a defense or a special team score in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be Errol Donald throwing someone on the Panthers and getting a strip sack and running into the end zone.
Yeah,
I think y'all are going to be surprised of what kind of Panthers team you see this week. I don't think it's going to be a team that you've seen yet this year.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be because the Panthers have not surprised me at all.
Well, so you thought they were going to be bad?
I did. Go back to week 1 where I said the Panthers are going to be the Panthers.
Well, now Matt Rule's gone, so are they still going to be the Panthers?
It's a new era.
Just saying. I mean, we can do a little side bet. I'm pretty confident in this one. I'm pretty confident in the Panthers. For all of what you just said, the line should not be +10. It should be more like +13, +14. It should be in that Bills-Steelers territory for sure.
Same outcome. The Rams will be the Bills.
Are the Rams the Bills though?
No, but that's what's going to happen.
We'll see. Again, hey, you get at me. We can do a little side bet. I'd love to. But you're giving me the points. Falcons 49ers is going to be the next game we're going to talk about. Public House. Who do you like here, bud?
Yeah, I like the 49ers here. don't like the Falcons. Honestly, the 49ers have been performing to me. I think that their offense is absolutely incredible. I think that Jimmy G really is the man. And they just got so many weapons, man. And the Falcons are just another one of those teams that just continue to disappoint you every time you seem to bet on them. It's like they do good on the weeks you don't bet them, but then you want to bet on them, and it's like, nah, we're going to lose by 400 points. So I haven't seen much out of the Falcons. Not really on them this week. Loving the 49ers. Going to stick to them. They've done decent for me this week or this year. So I'm gonna stay on the 49ers.
Okay.
Better now.
Oh.
What?
I'm just making sure you're done.
Why?
So, okay, all right, Chef. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's so freaking gross. But I like the Falcons to cover.
Oh, God.
That's where I'm at. That's how the year has gone, gentlemen. That's where I'm at this stage of my life. I'm hurting. I'm struggling. I think the Falcons, I don't know. They're gonna cover this week for some. It's gonna be something stupid. The 49ers defense is very much banged up. Eric Armstead's out. Javon Kinlaw's out. Emmanuel Mosley tore his ACL last week. Jimmy Ward's out. Trent Williams is out again. He's obviously the star on offense. Nick Bosa didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday, was limited today. I don't know that he necessarily goes, and if he does, he's probably not going to play the full game. Oh, I don't like it, but give me the Falcons to cover. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I like the Falcons to cover. It's absolutely disgusting. It is disgusting. I am not going to the window on it in one bit.
There's not a lot of dollars behind it.
No, absolutely not. It is the Falcons, but I think they cover. I think they compete. This Falcons team reminds me of last year's Lions team, but the difference is this team's finishing games, which the Falcons don't do. The Falcons have been very prone to not doing that. But last couple of weeks, they finished some tough games, and they've competed right to the end. They got screwed against Tampa Bay. Give me the Falcons at home with a cover. I do want to say one thing. The 49ers did not make the trip back to San Fran in between last week and this week. They played Carolina last week. They stayed on the East Coast. They went to West Virginia, so they still have the time zone thing going for them. And one thing about that is the 49ers, when they've done a back-to-back East Coast trip like that under Kyle Shanahan, they are undefeated straight up. So, but I think ultimately the injuries that the chef just listed really are the difference maker, and that's why the Falcons cover. I do think the 49ers probably still do to get the win, though. Steel City, what do you think here?
I think that you and the chef are falling in to the exact trap that Atlanta does. This is what they do. You start every season just how he said it. You do not bet on the Falcons. You start the season like this every year, and guess what happens? They go 5-0 at the spread this year, and this is what they're doing. They're drawing you in. Vegas knows it. They're so happy. They're like, oh, Falcons are 5-0 at the spread. Everyone's going to be on the Falcons for the rest of the year, and they're going to take your money. You do not bet on the Falcons even when they're doing well at the spread. You do not do it. The 49ers are averaging 12 points a game against their opponents, and that's without their best defensive players. The 49ers are also averaging 4.2 sacks a game through the first 5 games, and the Falcons are giving up 2 sacks. That will be the deciding factor in this game. If Bosa somehow goes, it's going to be even more dominating because Bosa hasn't been in the last couple games, and the 49ers defense is still performing very well. Jimmy G, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. I think the 49ers handle them just like the 49ers handled the Panthers last week. And the 49ers all the way, -4.5, and I think it's easy. The front, 5-6 on defense, and the front 5, that's going to be the deciding factor in this game, and there's going to be, I think, over 5.5 sacks by San Francisco. Do not bet on the Falcons.
Oh, I'm not. But for the purposes of this, Oh, yeah. I like them. They're covering. They're getting it done. Browns, Patriots is what we're going to discuss next. We got a little bit of echo coming through, sounds like. Public House.
Right now? Yeah.
You go ahead and take this one. It's going to be Browns,
Do I have
Patriots.
the echo?
I'm not sure. I was trying to see, but I wasn't able to figure it out off that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. So yeah, Patriots, Browns. Quick question that I did not look up. Mac Jones playing?
He's questionable. I would say no. Bill Belichick has a tendency that even if dudes have ACL tears, he likes to tell people that they're questionable.
They'll be limited. They'll be limited in practice,
Yeah.
and they'll be listed questionable.
He's not going to say anything until game time when you see him either out there or not. But I would assume that he's not going to go.
And then, so if not, it's old Bailey Zapp, right? Bailey Zapp, the Zapp attack.
Zappy.
Yeah, totally not on the Patriots at all. Don't think the Patriots have been really producing. It is Bill Belichick, but just the team all around is just kind of trash. Am I wrong? No standout receivers. Running backs mediocre. It's just it hasn't been good all around. The Browns, very similar. Jacoby Brissett, backup for pretty much everybody in the league, it seems like. Not necessarily producing, but I feel like at least they have weapons. You know what I mean? They have the running back duo. They have some wide receivers. I think the Browns get it done here. Patriots I just don't like them. So I'm on the Browns. I think that they produce. I think the Browns score at least 2-3 touchdowns on the Patriots and leave them in the dust.
Right on. Yeah, this is a bit of a revenge game for Brissett, but it's not at the same time. He's got nothing but utmost respect for the Patriots, coaches, players, organization. He said that in an interview this week. He's got no ill feelings towards the city, the fans, the team. Basically the way that he worded it was like, hey, once Deshaun takes over in Cleveland, Bill, if you need a backup again, you just give me a call, basically. But the thing that stuck out to me about this game and this line this week was it reminded me of last week. The Lions +3 on the road to the Patriots, where they got absolutely dogged and shut out in Foxborough. This line kind of reminds me of that a little bit, and I was on the wrong side of it last week, and that is actually the main reason why I am taking the Browns money line in this one this week. So we'll see if there's a method to my madness. Chef, what do you think?
This game is gross to me.
Yes.
This game screams 17-16, 14-13, 19-17.
Setup.
I am taking the under in this one. Both teams want to run the ball. It's going to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Whoever can get in field goal range more is going to win the game. I think the under is the play here. Jadeveon Clowney is out, which is not great for that Browns defense. Denzel Ward's also out, but I don't think the Patriots are going to have much of a – they're not going to try to throw because it's going to be the Zappy show, which tell me there's not a better, name for, a Pokemon gym leader than Bailey Zappy.
Oh, yeah. It's a
you go to the electric-type gym, and that's who you're battling. Kid's been okay, but, I just think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Time of possession is going to be big. Give me the underplay.
All right.
Before Steel City goes, I guarantee you this is shit game of the week or whatever. Am I wrong or am I right?
You are wrong, sir.
Oh.
Here's what I will say about this. I can't believe I'm saying this, but give me the turds. I will take the turds at home in the turd pound, but I am a little scared because the public is on Cleveland. But Brissett is playing pretty well, and Chubb's an absolute monster. If Chubb doesn't get any yards this game, he's still averaging 98 a game through 6 weeks, which is insane. But Belichick is one of the best. And And Belichick is going to take away your top weapon. Every time, no matter what, that's what Belichick does. He will scheme up a defense to hold Chubb. Chubb will be held to under 100 yards. I'm calling it. This will be his first under 100-yard game of the season, only because Belichick's going to put everything he has into scheming up your number one weapon. But what that's going to do is open up Amari Cooper, who's going to continue to have a great season, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think if you're putting a fun anytime bet down, Amari Cooper anytime and to score 2 touchdowns. I like that this week, but I'm betting on the Turds. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. They control the ball for the majority of the game. I just don't see New England keeping up with them. And I think it is going to be a gross game, though, like a 21-17 type win for the Browns. But I want the Browns. Moneyline is what I'm taking. I'm with Miami on this one. The Turds are taking it.
Right on. All right. The Turds. So we're all are we all on the Turds? Nobody's on the Patriots?
I'm on the under.
Ooh, that's scary though.
Yeah, that's not we don't like that.
Patriots.
One of the reasons that I'm on the under is because, like, again, it's at 2.5. The line's at 2.5. So, like, the Browns could win 19-17,
Right.
not cover, or like 14-13, not cover, but still win.
Yeah.
That's
Those
how I see this game going. So that's why I think the under is the play.
yeah, those half points are deadly. We know that all too well.
Gator Dave just called this the pink dry game of the week. Watching
Hey, hey, Miami Mike.
Yes.
For the cause, change my pick to +2.5 Patriots. For the cause.
I don't think that's how that works, but
Yeah. If you're just doing it more so just to be different, aren't you?
Just because every time that we're all on the same pick, or like 3 out of 4 of us, are on the same pick, I think it's 80% is the number, 80% that we usually lose.
I'd love to see your mouth.
Yeah, where did that number come from? That's not how statistics work, Jared.
Yeah, bro.
Hey guys, I got another stat for y'all. 74% of the time, statistics are made up on the spot.
I would believe it.
Boom.
Do you really want the Panthers?
No, I don't want the Panthers.
He wants the
You see that? You saw I almost trapped him into it.
I usually don't want the Panthers. I'll take the Patriots over the Panthers, I promise.
All
you
right,
that.
well then, go ahead and tell us about the Saints Bengals there, Public House. So I'll change this for you.
Bengals. So I'm on the Saints here. Pretty sure that's where I put my money. It's not a toss-up for me. Pretty sure. It's a toss-up for me on this game. Didn't really want to bet this game in real life. More of a metaverse kind of bet. But I think the Saints get it done. I like Taysom Hill a lot. I think that the way they've been playing him is great. I think Chris Olave scores 1 or 2 this game.
He's in concussion protocol.
Awesome. Good to know.
He's on my fantasy team, so I've been following that very close.
Yeah, probably not gonna score 1 or 2, but I'm on the Saints in the points here. I think they keep it close. Joe Burrow hasn't really been that impressive to me. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Nothing really interesting on this game.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. I like the Saints +3. I think their defense is on another level right now. That's really the main reason that I'm taking the Saints. It's not because of Andy Dalton, I can tell you that. It's that defense. They're going to cause problems for Joe Burrow. That offensive line in Cincinnati is still not great. They're having a lot of issues early, even with the run game. Joe Mixon had a little bit of traction last week. Finally got it going a little bit. He was averaging about 6 yards a carry. So look for that to probably continue in this one. But, man, on those pass plays, Cameron Jordan and the boys are going to be after him. I'd like Burrow to get sacked, 4, maybe even 5 times in this one. It's going to be tough on them. It's the first game back in the Superdome for Burrow and Jefferson since they won the championship there with LSU. So you already know they're talking to each other, trying to make sure that they repeat that. I like this. Give me the Saints. Give me the Saints +3. Travis, what are your thoughts?
First off, I think you meant Jamar Chase and not Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, Justin Jefferson was there when they won it, so. But yeah, you're right. But you're right. I mean, he could be. You never know. You don't know him.
I don't know where he's going to be. I was guessing he would be in Miami.
I would hope not.
Yeah, I like the Bengals a lot in this one. I think they come to play. While the offensive line has been bad over the last 2 weeks, it's actually been a lot better. When you have a new offensive line, sometimes it takes a couple weeks for them to all kind of gel. They haven't really had a ton of injuries there. Jonah Williams is a little banged up, but he did practice today, so I'm expecting him to go. T. Higgins also practiced today. Rumor has it Jamar Chase got his hands on about 100 tickets for friends and family. So I think Jamar Chase multiple touchdowns is an absolute smash of a play. Back in New Orleans, Marshawn Lattimore is out for the Saints. And they already don't like to kind of do like doubling players. They usually let their corners play one-on-one. I think Jamar Chase goes absolutely off. I love the Bengals in this game.
Right on. Steel City, what are your thoughts here?
My thoughts are this is my shellacking of the week, and I am with the chef. Cincinnati dominates. Yes, New Orleans is great at home. Taysom Hill had a great game last week. It's not going to be the same. Cincinnati's going to dominate this game, and here's why. Yes, the line is sketchy. To me, this should be like a 6.5-point line. That's just how I think about it because I think Cincinnati is a much better team. But here's why. The caliber of teams that each have played. New Orleans have won against Seattle and Atlanta. Both turds. They lost to Minnesota. It was close, but they lost. They lost to Tampa Bay, and somehow they lost to the Panthers. But the Bengals have lost to the Ravens, Dallas, who's 4-1, and somehow they lost to Pittsburgh. Each of those games is within 3 points. All of their games have been close, and they're playing high-caliber opponents. So I think Cincinnati is an okay team. They're pretty good. Their record does not reflect how good they are at 2-3 because they've played some pretty tough teams. Their offensive line is getting better, and it takes 5-6 weeks for a new group of guys to learn how they play around each other. So I think Cincinnati is going to continue to grow. I think Cincinnati is probably on a path to win the AFC North, in my opinion, just looking at where it stands now. And I think that they give a shellacking to New Orleans.
Don't love that last piece, but I agree with you in this game.
Love what you want.
I will.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure to see if that Bengals offense can get it going. I mean, it's not the same offense that they were last year. They've only put up a season high 27 points so far out of these 5 games. So it'll be interesting to see if this is their breakout with Jamar Chase that you guys are calling for. So
I think another piece that kind of guarantees the Jamar Chase play. I'm playing against somebody in a certain Trippy Cup league who happens to have Jamar Chase, and with my luck, he's probably going to go off for 3 touchdowns.
Buddy, I looked at your team today, and after I placed my anytime bets, wasn't really a huge fan of where my heart is going into this Sunday and where my fantasy team is playing on the other side.
You want some money in your pocket here in Miami.
I mean, can I have both? Next, we're going to talk about Eagles, Cowboys. I'm going to let Public House be the last one here because he wanted to play. I don't know what he wanted to play with this one. I guess L's. Yeah, he is playing that shit right now, isn't he? Literally told me in the truck on the way back from the casino that he wouldn't be. And he's just over here grinding.
I'm not. I'm looking at stuff about the football games, you fools. So I can be educated.
That was too aggressive
Well,
of a click for you to be looking
Yeah,
at
well
football.
played.
Bro, don't look at my clicks, dog.
Don't monitor your heavy clicking.
All right, so why am I on the Cowboys this week? Is that what you're asking?
I wasn't, but tell me.
Are you gonna come through the camera?
I'm on the Cowboys, man. Cooper Rush, man. I've said it for the past 2-3 weeks in a row that I don't like this Cooper Rush guy. But you know what? I like him now. I think that the Cowboys are starting to get going. I really do. I think their running game's kind of getting there. I think Zeke's kind of getting there. I think Cooper Rush is getting there, surprisingly. Obviously, the Eagles are badass. Love them to death. I think the spread's a little far. Hold on. Let me see.
Are you underwater?
Sorry, what'd you say there, bud? All right.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you're not coming through.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so spread's a little wide for me. That's why I'm really on the Cowboys. I think that the Eagles definitely win it, but I think that the Cowboys keep it within, maybe a field goal. Maybe a field goal and maybe 2 field goals. I don't know. So,
I'll just. Okay. All right. Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. I was torn on which side I wanted to take on this one. Ultimately, I went with the team that I think is the better team and will win the game. I like the Eagles -6. But this is a division game. It's a rival game. It's the backup quarterback for the Cowboys. It's prime time in Philly. It just smells screwy, man. It smells like a backdoor cover. It smells like a poor offensive showing from the Eagles. But I'm hoping that this is a new Eagles team this year. 16-1 bound. Give me the Eagles -6. Chef, what are you on here?
I am all over the Eagles here. I think the Eagles absolutely, they may win by 3 touchdowns. I think they absolutely tear up the Cowboys. This is our holy crap, we need Dak Prescott back. Kind of come to Jesus game. You look at, first off, DeMarcus Lawrence talking a lot of shit about Jalen Hurts this week. Also, granted, I'll give Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence are good, but I think their numbers are a little inflated if you look at the offensive lines that they played against these last couple weeks. Like, yeah, the Commanders' offensive line, look at you. Like, you look at, what they did last week against the Rams' offensive line. Like, all right, impressive. Like, come up against Lane Johnson and them boys. Jason, like, that's not going to fly.
Right.
I think the Eagles burn the place down. Eagles by a lot.
All right. Steel City. Thoughts here?
Yeah, I'll just pick up where Travis left off. This game comes down to skill players and offensive line. Dallas's defense has performed well against weak offensive lines. Just to keep going on it, the Giants and Cincinnati are the other 2 games Dallas played against weak offensive lines, so their stats are inflated. Philly's got one of the best offensive line units in the NFL with some dogs.
I will say the best offensive line.
I am, again, supporting Miami Mike's decision to just say something crazy at the beginning of the year, and that's Philly Mike goes 16-1. It's alive and well now. It's alive and well after the game. Prime time in Philadelphia with their fans who are disgusting, but they support their team. There's nothing like it. They're a fan base where they only like their team and they hate the Cowboys. Prime time, undefeated. They got a good team. They're going to be nasty. Hurts has 4 touchdowns, 2 picks through the air, 1,300 yards passing. But this stat, I counted 3 times because I thought I was looking at something else. 6 rushing touchdowns and 266 rushing yards on the ground through 5 games. A.J. Brown, 436 yards. Sanders, 414 rushing. I think the Eagles dominate this game. I was worried. I thought the line was going to be like at least -8 or -7.5. -6 to me is a play all day. Philadelphia, 6-0. They're flying on their way to 16-1.
Fly, Eagles, fly. That's right. All right, we got 4 games left for you guys. We appreciate everybody watching so far. Please make sure to like and subscribe the video. Drop in the comments below any questions that you have for us. We'll make sure we get them to them the next show. Jump in the chat. Let us know you're here. But again, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. 4 games left again. We're going to go with my Dolphins versus the Vikings at home. We got our 3rd-string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, going. Tua is out this week. Teddy Bridgewater is back, but he did not get a full week of practice, so Mike McDaniel, the head coach, is going with Skylar Thompson. Got a full week of reps with the ones. I'll tell you what, guys.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought Teddy was a go.
Nope. Well, he is a go, but he's going to be a backup. He's going to be in the backup role this week. So if Skylar struggles, Teddy, they will hand the reins to Teddy for sure. But I don't think he struggles. I think Skylar Thompson balls out. He's a dual threat capability. He did not run it all last week when he came in. But that was because we were down and he was just sort of, going through the game management phase of it. I think they really opened it up with him this week. I think it's a lot of read option. If Mostert is healthy, I think he's going to have a big game. And Skylar Thompson can chuck that mug, man. So I like Tyreek Hill here to really go off and get back to where he was in those first couple of games with Tua. Give me the Fins, man. Fins up. Give me the Fins plus 3.5 here. Steel City, what are your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts are I'm going to keep it pretty basic, just go with the facts here, and that is this. Tua is the current soul of that offense, and without him, Miami is not the same Miami that they were. I think there could be a little trouble down there in Miami, too. Let's just talk about the little article that came out with what happened with your head coach. Kind of a joke, but still coming out saying, hey, I'm real proud of the guys for getting rid of the ping pong table in the locker room so they can focus on football. And Tyreek Hill comes out and says, actually, Coach, we got rid of that because it was broken. We ordered a new custom one for the room as well. So maybe they're not on the same page. I don't know. Just the little things that happen sometimes. But here's what I'll say about the actual game. The Vikings look good. Yes, they played the Bears, New Orleans, and the Lions as their last 3 games. 3 teams that are not super hot right now. But usually the Vikings lose to good teams. But without Tua, I just don't think Miami is that good of a team. The last 3 games show it. Last 3 games, they have not scored over 20 points. And the last 2 games, they gave up 27 to Cincinnati, and they gave up 40 to the Jets. Whereas the Vikings are averaging roughly 30 points for the last 3 games. I'm just going to do simple math and say Vikings are going to score 30. Dolphins are going to score 17. That math means Vikings -3.
That math means Vikings -12. Yeah, I hear you. I really do. The with the ping pong table, I guess that's not really my decision. Tyreek Hill is the heart and soul of that offense. Don't get it twisted. Tua is, he's a guy, but he is not a leader. Tua is not. He doesn't have that bone in his body yet. Tyreek is that dog. He runs that offense. It's his show. He came there to be the guy. He is the guy. Don't get it twisted there. And he's a smart ass too. That comment about the ping pong table, it might be true, but if you look at his other interviews since he's been in Miami, since he's been in KC, he's a smart ass. He just likes firing people up and gets people talking. He reminds me a lot of like NBA personality, Jimmy Butler, also in Miami. They're very similar with the way that they go about themselves and handle their business, but I fucking love Tyreek.
South Beach mentality.
That's right. Chef, what are your thoughts on this one?
I am aligned with y'all, sort of, kind of. Tyreek Hill kind of reminds me of like when Marshawn Lynch went to Seattle, and they have this goofy young quarterback that's kind of cheesy and kind of in Russell Wilson. They got a good secondary. And you know what? Like, that works for them because they have the balance. They got the balance. Secondly, ping pong is a very important sport. And if they had dropped the tournament, I would have been probably a little less optimistic about what they have going on down there in Miami because that's, ping pong is important shit. Secondly, Mr. Crawford, I believe, said, what was it, 30 to 17 average? Was that average? That's why I'm all over the over in this one. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I think, to Miami Mike's point, Tyreek Hill has a very big day. I also think Jalen Waddle has a very big day. On the flip side, I think Dalvin Cook has a very big day against that rushing defense of Miami. I think the over is the play in this one. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I could very easily see Miami covering the 3.5, like a 27-24 type of game. So give me the over in this one.
Love it. Love everything you said. I totally agree about Dalvin Cook. I actually got him little sneak preview for later. I do have him as one of my anytimes. He's going back to Miami. He is a dog in that stadium. I know it all too well. I love Dalvin Cook in that play for sure. Definitely think you're on the right track with the over there. Jared, Mr. Public House, what do we think now that you know that Teddy B is not the starter?
I don't know. That kind of changes my mind a little bit about things. I know in the beginning of the week, I've been on Miami all week, but at the beginning of the week, I put a little question mark next to my notes and said, Teddy B, is he playing? And I don't know. You think Skyler's that man? You think he's good? I'm going to put my trust in you this week, Miami Mike, and stick with my original pick of Miami in the points.
I love it.
I'm going to go ahead and stick with him. I'm going to stick with my trust with you. If you really think Skyler's the man, that's your team.
Hey,
I'm going to stick with you.
I told you last week the Jets were going to win. I'm telling you now. I will say I'm not sure we win this game, but it's not going to be because of Skylar Thompson. That kid's going to come to play.
That half point being big in this one.
That kid's going to come to play. Also, little trend here for you. You know, AFC East Patriots. They got a 1, 2. Oh yeah, that's their third string quarterback. He did okay. He did okay in his first start. So just saying.
Hey, here's a little stat for you. The first 2 games with Tua, Tyreek Hill had 25 targets. The last 3 games without Tua, Tyreek Hill had 25 targets through 3 games. Very inconsistent. That's the issue. The inconsistency.
I mean, that's still 8 targets a game.
Yeah, but it should be 13. It's the same thing we talked about Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. It's the inconsistency of a second or third string quarterback not realizing or not being comfortable enough realizing.
I mean,
Tyreek Hill should get 12 targets a game.
All right,
the problem is, honestly, the whole Tyreek thing is I think that nobody's confident enough in their arm, really, besides Tua, to fucking make that play to Tyreek, because Tyreek's that go man. So,
thank you.
You know what I mean? People are afraid to be like, yeah, I can't launch it 40 yards like Tua can. You know what I mean? Or they can, but they just aren't confident enough to actually try to make that throw. That's where he's the most effective.
Confidence.
Wrong. I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm still on Miami.
I'm gonna tell you why. Tyreek Hill, yeah, he's a go route guy, but the reason he hasn't gotten the targets is because he's been hurt. He's had a foot issue for the last 3 weeks. He was in a boot. All right. The dude hasn't been the same. It has nothing to do with who's throwing him the ball. Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. I don't know if anybody watched him last week when he has the ball in his hands. He's a literal fucking cheetah on the field. He is a absolute lightning bolt. You don't need to get him the ball 50 yards down the field for him to do what he needs to do. I agree they need to get it to him more, but he's been hurt, man. That's been a huge part of it.
Hey, I 100%. Hold on, Chef. Mine just goes with his hand in hand. I 100% agree with everything you just said. I'm talking about inconsistency in targets. The targets for the games without Tua were 4 targets, 13 targets, and then 7 targets. It's just the inconsistent.
But dude, that's NFL. Go look at Stephon Diggs' targets. I mean, he was 15 targets a game for the first 2-3 games, and he's gone dark. Like it happens. It happens. I don't really think that's something to look into, especially also when you look at the weapons that the Dolphins have on the field. I mean, the way that McDaniel runs his offense, and he did it in the 49ers, it's very similar. It's Belichick-esque. We don't need to, like, so for example, like Brady and Moss back in the day, like they could throw it to Moss every fucking play if they wanted to, and that they could do that 30 times a game and it would work. They could easily do that with Tyreek Hill. But they know that the season's long, and one, they need to keep those guys healthy, and two, they need to be able to keep these teams on their toes. So if Raheem Mostert goes off for 130 yards in a game, I'm sorry, feed the motherfucker. Like Tyreek, you see what this dude's doing, open some holes up. You know, you get yours all. I really don't think that that's the inconsistency of targets. I don't think that's something to necessarily look into. At least this early in the season and for this game and under the circumstances that the Dolphins offense has gone through at this point in the season.
I agree with you again. I'm just using targets as an example of inconsistency. The main thing is inconsistency. The targets is irrelevant. It's just an example I'm using. Because if you go look at Stephon Diggs, though, he hasn't lost his targets. I'm just using that as an example. He's had 11 targets, 6 targets, 11 targets, 15, and then 10 targets throughout his games. I'm just using that as an example. Inconsistency is what I'm going at. No, that was just 1 week that he did that. He's averaging above double digits targets. He had one bad week. That was it.
Okay.
Can I say what I meant to say about 5 minutes ago?
Yep.
Before y'all took it away? I think something that's big. Tyreek Hill practiced in full every single day this week. Jalen Waddle practiced in full every single day this week. That's massive. Where they have not been practicing at all for the past 2 previous weeks. And maybe get a limited on Friday. That's big. That's a big difference.
That is big.
Yep. And they also, I mean, again, first team reps with the QB is massive. So, and I know that you're going off this inconsistency of Tua not being the quarterback. Tua hasn't been the quarterback for 2 games, dude. And it was really like 1.5. Like he hasn't, and it's Teddy B as the, I don't know.
Did you win any of those 2 games or no?
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't really remember. I'd have to go back and look.
You did not win either of those games, so we will see what happens on Sunday.
It's growth that I'm sticking up for Miami.
I mean, okay, the 2 games though that you're mentioning, one was literally the game that he got knocked the fuck out of, so that wasn't going to happen. To be fair, if we want to talk about that game, we knew that was going to happen. We knew the Bengals were going to win that game. It lined up that way. It was a quick turnaround. It favored the Bengals, and look what happened. That really didn't have shit to do with Tua, but if you want to bring it up, he got knocked the fuck out of that game, so that kind of threw the whole game out of whack and everything else. And then last week, you got the Jets. So
Miami knew they were going to lose that game. They got knocked out. And the next week, they had a backup playing, and he got knocked out as well. And then they had another quarterback coming in. It's inconsistency, and they lost that game too. That's all I'm trying to say. But we'll see what happens. If they practiced all week, maybe they've got a connection.
Yeah, I don't know. That word's fucking triggering. Inconsistency. Because I don't see it. I see a whole lot of inconsistency in fucking Pittsburgh, if you want to say all that shit.
Hey, I'm not saying you're not. So.
All right. Next game we're going to talk about here is Cardinals Seahawks. I like the Cardinals money line. I think they're going to go get it done. I think Kyler Murray absolutely runs all over this defense. I could totally see the Seahawks putting up numbers on that Cardinals defensive secondary, but I ultimately think this is a must-win for the Cardinals if they want to contend moving forward this year. They got to get it done. They got to get it going. It lines up pretty well. Seattle is one of the worst defenses in the league, so if the Cardinals offense was ever going to get it done, they get D-Hop back next week, it's got to be right now. They're really banged up at running back. That's my really only issue right here. But that's why I think Kyler puts it on himself. I like him to maybe have 100 yards in this game. I think he carries it 10 to 15 times. Chef, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I love the Cardinals in this game. I love a lot of points in this game. I'm taking the over here. I bet the over in Seahawks games. You're going to have a good time. That's what I've learned so far this season, and I'm going to keep on rocking with it. Fun little fact: there's a lot of stuff going on in Seattle this weekend. So people that typically would have gone to Seahawks games might end up at Mariners games, might end up at Huskies games, might end up at Kraken games, might end up at a Panic at the Disco concert. Who the fuck knows? We're all being on Sunday night, folks. Anyone in the Seattle area going to be at Panic at the Disco Sunday night? I'll see y'all there. The Seattle defense is hot, steamy trash. I think DK Metcalf can have a big day against that Cardinals secondary. He's due after getting hawked by Buddha last year. We all remember the memes from that. So I think he ends up getting one in there. I just think there's going to be a lot of points scored. It's going to be a beautiful day on Sunday. It'll be about 70 and sunny, so it's not going to be that typical Seattle weather that leads to a lot of low-scoring games. A lot of points. Give me that over, and I also like the Cardinals in this one.
Right on. Steel City, what are your thoughts here?
My thoughts are that this
Inconsistency.
No. Incorrect, sir.
This is the shit game of the week.
These teams are both very consistent in the turd category. And this is my turd game of the week, and let me tell you why. That's because both these teams have beat turds. We got the Cards beat Carolina, and the Cards beat Vegas. Seattle's beat the Lions in an absolute shootout, and they beat the turd Broncos. I think that this game, I'm betting the over here because I don't like either team. I'm not touching either team, putting money on either team here. It's a turd game, but I think they're going to score points because both teams are turds. And Seattle's averaging like 30-something points a game, which is insane with Geno Smith. So, turd game of the week, bet the over. Two birds doing stuff out there in Seattle. Who knows what's going to happen?
Two birds dropping turds. All right, Public House. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah. Don't you kind of think that like Geno Smith is like
Don't do it. Don't do that.
Maybe like in an alternate reality, like the same person as Kyler Murray, but just like 10 years older.
And about 10 inches taller.
I mean, yeah. But maybe Kyler Murray grows in the next 10 years. We don't know that shit, dude. You don't know his life, right?
I guess.
Maybe Geno Smith wears fucking spacers in his shoes to look that tall.
He could. It's 2022. That's the thing. You're right.
Exactly.
And you never know.
Exactly. So, third game of the week, that's what Scott calls it. I don't necessarily like calling it a third game of the week because I think there are some super skilled players on both sides. I think the Seahawks get it done here. I'm taking the Seahawks in the points, and I want to say the Seahawks just win straight up. But I'm going to take them in the points to be safe. But like Travis or Scott, whoever said it, they're averaging like 30 points a fucking game, and the Cardinals are not. So logic says that, math says that, 1 + 1 = 3. Let's get it. Seahawks.
All right. Right on. I dig it. We got 2 games left for you guys. We're going to go quick with these last couple so we can get to some anytimes. We got Colts and the Jaguars here. Steel City, what are your thoughts on this one?
You know, my thoughts are the Colts just played one of their worst games of the year. The Jags are starting to struggle as soon as we get on the bus here. The Colts are at home. This is a tough game for me to choose, so I'm going to go with my boy Kenny Moore from the Valdosta State University here and say Indianapolis is going to try to turn their season around. The line's weird. I don't know. I'm going Colts. Give me the points. -2 Colts. I don't know. It's just a weird game to me. I don't like it at all, but I'm taking the Colts.
Okay. Chef, what are your thoughts on this one?
Give me the Jags. I think we're talking Jags Colts. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're good. Yeah. Jags Colts.
Got a bladder the size of a golf ball. I like the Jags in this one. Foley Fatukasi coming back. I know that's a name that not a lot of people recognize, but if you look at last season, I was actually top 5 in run block win rate for defensive linemen by PFF. He's a big addition to that Jaguars defense. Foye Oluokun, also not a popular name. Those in Atlanta probably know that name from previous years. I like what they got going on. Shaq Leonard and Kwity Paye out for the Colts. I've been driving the Jaguars bandwagon all year. Give me the Jags in this one.
Yeah. Shaq Leonard being out again is definitely huge for that Colts defense. Jared, what are your thoughts? What are you chewing on? Like a toothpick or something over there, Farmer Dan? What's going on?
It's a toothpick. That's all. My Taco Bell's about to be dropped off. So, all right. Colts Jags. Yeah. Looking at this spread, it's weird, because the Jags have been killing it. Colts haven't really been killing it. You would think, I would honestly think that the spread would be closer to, honestly, like Jags -5. I don't know why it isn't. Yeah, crazy, right?
Love the optimism. I don't see it there.
Come on, Jags +2.
All right.
Jags +2. I think you guys are going to eat your words if you take the Colts this week. I think Jags are going to come to play. I think they beat them by like a touchdown. You can mark my words. Just take it from the champ.
We will. Yeah, that's what the recap's for. I am on the under here. I think it's going to be a super nasty game. I don't want anything to do with it. I will not be watching it, other than if they show field goals on red zone, because I think that's all that's really going to happen in this one. This game is going to be terrible. Is Jonathan Taylor going? Is he still out? Does anybody know?
Questionable. Didn't practice Wednesday. Limited the past 2 days.
Yeah, and I know Nyheim Hines is going with the same thing. He's in concussion protocol. So
yes,
it's Matt Ryan is real Matt Ryan-ish. Like the chef said earlier, you can take Matt Ryan out of Atlanta, but you can't really take Atlanta out of Matt Ryan. It seems like that's the case. And it's going to be just as hard if Hines and Taylor aren't able to go. Give me the under, man. Give me the under. I think it's going to be an awful game. Awful game. Colts have won 4 in a row against the Jags at home. Of course, they can't win in Jacksonville, so it's a very back-and-forth series. But give me the under. Last game we're going to talk about here, Steel City's Steelers versus the Buccaneers. Steel City's, I think he's wearing his jersey right now. What is that, a number 8 I see, sir? Yep, he's repping his savior, deemed, titled already after what? Is it been 2 weeks now?
1.5.
1.5.
1 week.
All right.
One full start.
One full start. Do we still feel like he is the future of the Steelers?
He is the future of the Steelers, and let me tell you why. He's confident. He stayed in the pocket. He made throws. He can move on his feet. He threw for over 300 yards against his hands. As opposed to Ben Roethlisberger, who would have ran faster on his hands, yes. He threw for 300-plus yards against a great Bills defense. That's a tough first team to play as your first NFL start against the Bills. But this game, in my unbiased decision, my heart, which is very biased, says the Steelers are going to upset Tampa Bay. But my brain, which is not unbiased, says take the over at, earlier I saw it at 45.5. I don't know if it's still there. That's why I saw it earlier. Take the over, and here's why. A couple interesting facts. This is Pickett's first home start. The towels are going to be going crazy. Fans are going to be going nuts. Pickett will get his first passing touchdown. If he doesn't also rush for one again, we'll see. He will get his first passing touchdown. Brady is the GOAT. I've said it all year long, but I hate him. Down with the GOAT. Down with Brady. This will be, based off of these facts, it's very interesting. Tomlin is 14-4-2 at home as an underdog. Brady is 11-4 against the spread versus the Steelers. He has owned us. So it's favorable for both teams looking at it that way. But I will say this, live, if we get shit pumped by Tom Brady in Pittsburgh again, I will renounce my allegiance right now to the Pittsburgh Steelers betting for the rest of the year. I'm still going to be a fan, but I will no longer care about them from a betting perspective. I will be done with them until we continue to build our team around Kenny Pickett and get some offensive linemen. That is all I have.
Can we get that in writing? I need a signature on that.
I mean, it's written on this piece of paper right here, but I said it out loud.
Yes, can we get that signed and notarized?
Yeah, we need
We'll
that
not
official.
be on this show again.
We need that
shit
official.
pumped. If we get shit pumped, which in my opinion is if we lose by more than 13 points.
Let's just say double digits. What do you say double digits? Will you give it double digits?
No, because 10 I'll accept. That's not a shit pumping. We just lost. But anything 13 or higher, we got shit pumped.
All right. Well, yeah, I think, unfortunately for you, I think you get shit pumped. I like the Buccaneers -7. I think Brady continues that success against the Steelers. Ultimately, I just think it's injuries for y'all right now. You know, if you had TJ Watt, if you had Minka healthy, Najee's been banged up. Supposedly he's a full go now for the first time in a couple weeks, which is huge for that offense and Kenny Pickett to get stuff going. I just think it's the injuries, man. I think that's the biggest difference. Your defense is elite, but the offense is not it. Yes, Kenny Pickett did throw for 300 yards last week, but he threw the ball 52 times, and he completed 34 passes, so he was really averaging about 10 yards a pass. They were keeping it short. They were keeping it small. Also, they were down at halftime 31-3, so they kind of didn't have a choice but to throw it. I think that definitely plays a factor into it. My biggest thing here is, can Kenny Pickett take care of the football? Like you said, he has 0 touchdowns passing so far in the game and a half that he's played in, but he's got 4 picks. I like this Buccaneers defense. I think Jamal Dean could easily get one off of Kenny. Kind of like a defensive score here for the Bucs. I think it's going to be ugly again, and unfortunately it's going to be in Pittsburgh, so those fans are probably going to be bringing out the boo birds pretty early there for the old Pittsburgh Steelers in the first half, I think. One pick for Kenny?
One real pick for Kenny.
One real pick for Kenny. So,
You know it. Hey, you know it. I know it. Everyone that's a football fan knows it. The game is a stat, but it doesn't really count. And the 2 into receiver's hands that they dropped into a defender is a stat interception, but not really on him. Last game he did throw a real pick right before halftime.
Yep. I mean, I personally, you know, if you throw into double, triple coverage and your receiver touches the hand, I still think that's sort of responsible on the QB.
Not a hand touch. I'm talking both those picks were like this, ball in hand. One of them hit Deontay Johnson in the helmet, threw his hands and went in the air. That is not the same thing. I agree if you force it, that is not the same thing.
Well, all right, but how many times has Deontay Johnson helped, maybe not Kenny Pickett yet, but some other quarterbacks maybe who threw maybe not that great of a ball and he made some shit happen kind of deal.
That's why he's not our quarterback anymore.
That's fair. Chef, what you got?
I think it's cute watching Steelers fans try to justify how, we can do this, we can do that. Welcome to the fucking party, bro. Your team sucks. You ain't had to deal with it for 15 fucking years. Welcome to the goddamn show. You might want to start taking some depression medication, because goddamn, get ready for it.
Get out of here, turd.
Your team sucks, bro. A lot of us around here are used to having such negativity in our lives. We're just welcome to the party, folks. The Steelers are not it. Offensive line, hot, steamy trash. You know, they got a decent tight end. Guess who's out this week with concussion? Fryer moves. Oh yeah, you know the defense has a couple playmakers. Well, you know what? 3 of their cornerbacks are out this week. Their best safety / cornerback /
Player
linebacker who does everything
Yeah.
for them. Well, I would say TJ Watt the best player.
I don't know. Minka's pretty important. Minka's pretty important.
He's also out. So you know what? And I feel like this is like that's Tom Brady. We forgot about him. We forgot what Tom Brady looks like. this is going to be ugly, folks. This is going to be that game where Steelers fans everywhere were like, whoa, I don't know what this is like. I may need to talk to a therapist. Somebody get me a shot of something. It's going to be ugly, folks. Give me the Bucks.
It's already been like that, Travis.
Yeah.
You
don't understand, Scotty. We don't understand what it's like, my friend. We don't understand the depths of hell that you are about to have to navigate.
There, Travis, I would perfectly fine this season. We're not going to be good, but we've got the players to build around. Unlike the Panthers, who just are steamy turds and going to get rid of their best running back.
We're not getting rid of McCaffrey. Just so we're clear.
So the thing about this game, and I think Travis is right. I mean, this is the game that we've all been there. We've all been there with winning teams. Your team is winning. They win consistently. And then shit starts to get a little slippery on the top of the mountain. And
this is all I've ever known.
I hear you, brother. But I'm telling you right now, if this game goes rough, and I think you may not be one of them. Hopefully you're not. But I have a strong feeling that some crazy-ass Steelers fans will be calling for Tomlin's job. It shouldn't even be a discussion, but I've been on the side of consistent winning, and when shit starts to go down south.
You know who's an owner who used to be a part owner of the Steelers and would love to have a coach like that? I'm just fucking saying. Mike Tomlin to Carolina 2023. Wouldn't be mad at it. Give me Tomlin, give me Sean Payton. I don't care which. I'll take them. I'll take all of them.
I'll bet whatever you want.
You heard it here first, folks. Charlie Weiss to the Carolina Panthers in 2023.
You're probably right. It's going to be somebody stupid.
Public House, what are your thoughts here, bud? So we can get to the anytimes. You can go get to your Taco Bell.
Taco. Yeah, man. Sad to be a Steeler this year. I think it's a lot of points, though. Watching the game last week, I know you guys got a lot of hate for old Kenny Pickett, but like if you look at his ball placement, if you look at his throws, I think the guy was pretty accurate. I mean, a couple of those throws on down the sideline, like if our guys would have had their feet in, or it's right there. It's right there in that in between. I don't think it's going to be ugly, Travis. I hope not. The only thing that I think is going to be ugly is the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. So
you can try and talk shit about my team to defend your team because I'm used to it. You're not fucking used to it. Welcome to the depths, bro.
We never. But here's the difference. Here's the difference between me and Steel City.
Welcome to picking in the top 10, my friend. Come on now. Welcome to the show.
Really, win or lose, we can go fucking 0-12. It's not gonna really fucking bother me. Miami Mike knows it. You know it. It is what it is. I got children I gotta keep alive on a daily basis. So if the Steelers fucking lose, it is what it is.
That is a big difference because I believe in black and gold, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
I will say this. You said we got some hate for Kenny Pickett. There's no hate for Kenny Pickett, but I do think he's trying to do too much, and he makes forced throws because he wants to make sure that he remains the starter. So I just think some of the decisions that he's made, he's just made some throws that he probably shouldn't have. He should have thrown it away. He should have thrown it to his check down. That's all I'm saying about Kenny Pickett. But that comes with experience. He'll get better with that. There's no hate on Kenny Pickett, but he needs help. I mean, he can't do it all on his own. So he needs Najee to step it up. They haven't been using Najee, but again, like kind of similar with Tyreek Hill, he's been banged up. So they need him to step up though. He's not been who they thought there was. The O-line is not it, like you're saying. They're absolute trash. No Freiermuth this week. He's a huge part of that offense and blocking specifically. For that O-line, I don't think it's not going to be great. Not a good formula.
You guys have not said anything wrong. I agree with everything you're saying. But the thing that I like about Kenny Pickett, and I think what Jared's getting to is some of the stuff he's forcing, yes, because he's a rookie and it comes with experience, but they're not bad passes. They're hitting our receiver, throwing into triple coverage, only hitting Deontay Johnson in the hands, putting the ball a foot over his head so all he can do is make a one-handed catch. Yes, it's forced, but the accuracy, it's good. There's some stuff there that we're liking. I think that's what Jared's getting at.
That's fair.
And you want to, again, bring in a big, but I don't. We got the same fucking record as y'all. You're trash, just like us.
We're not.
Like that movie Toy Story.
Hey, we'll find out. We'll find out in week, what is that? Week 15?
14 or 15.
Panthers?
December. Yep.
Yeah, we'll find out then who's really trash.
Cool. See you then.
All right. Let me throw up the recap. That is the 12 games. Get it up on the board. Make sure I got it all correct. That was last week. Let's get up this week. Boom. All right. So on the board, we got first game we discussed was the Chargers Broncos. Myself and the chef are on the under. Public House and Steel City are both on the Chargers -5. The chef likes the Chiefs +3. I like the over. Steel City likes the over also. Public House is on the Bills money line. Next one, Steel City and myself are again on the same pick. We both like the Packers -6. Chef is on the Packers Jets over 45. Public House is on the Jets +7.5. Next one, I'm back with the chef. We are on the Panthers +10. We are crazy for this one, but we're riding them into the fucking sun. Against the Rams -10 and Public House and Steel City. Next, continuing the trend, me and the chef are sniffing the fucking Kool-Aid this week, Chiefs. We're not drinking it. We're sniffing it. We're going Falcons +5. Public House and Steel City are going 49ers -5 because they have more sense. I am with Steel City on the next one. He started making too much sense, so I got with him. Browns money line. Public House is on Patriots +2.5. The chef is on the under 44. Chef and Steel City like the Bengals money line in this one. Public House and myself were on the Saints at home to get it done +3. No Marshawn Lattimore, though. That is huge. Next game, we got the Eagles. We're all on the Eagles except for Public House. He wanted to be the odd man out, so he took the Cowboys +7. I know for a fact he doesn't actually, I think, like the Cowboys. He just wanted to take the Cowboys to be that guy, and he is. Next game, I'm with him. He's on my Fins. Fins up +3.5. Steel City's on the Vikings money line. Travis is on the over 45. Steel City and Travis are both on the over in the Cardinals Seahawks over 50. I like the Cardinals money line. Jared likes the Seahawks +2.5, but he likes the Seahawks to win that game handedly. He thinks they get it done. He loves him some Geno Smith right now. Public House and the chef are both on the Jaguars +3 in Indy. Scott's riding with the Colts money line, and I am on the under 42. Last but not least, we got the Bucks and the Steelers. Steel City's on the over. Chef's on the under. I'm on the Bucks. Public House is on the Steelers. Now that is a true showdown game right there.
I said, hey, give me the Bucks. This was hours ago. Just to be clear, we have the documentation.
Okay. Well,
You sound like Public House.
Relax.
This was hours. This was a long time ago.
It's an easy change. It's an easy change, Mr. 5-19 in the last 2 weeks. Don't you worry. I'll get it right.
Hey, man, I got to do, you know?
We got to do what we can. We got to correct that. All right. It's going back up. Buccaneers are on the board.
This was at 1:26 p.m. Pacific time, just so we're all clear on the thing.
Cool.
Yeah, we were driving.
Yeah, safety first, my guy. Who's got some anytimes that we can throw out, and then I'm getting the fuck off of this?
Okay.
Quick, I can run through these two fast. This is it. My parlay for the week. Kansas City over, Cincinnati money line, Philly -3, Green Bay -3, Rams -3. That's plus 792. And the anytimes, which is our play, boys. We each pick one player every week for an anytime parlay. Jamar Chase, Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, Lamar Jackson, plus 1,200.
Love it as a smash.
Love that. Chef, you got any?
Well, he just read off my Jamar Chase. I also really love DK Metcalf. A bit of a long shot, a guy that's probably not going to make a lot of noise, is Eno Benjamin. James Conner is out. Darrell Williams is out. Al Woods is doubtful, the starting defensive tackle for the Seahawks. I think Eno Benjamin punches in one, a former Angry Runs winner.
Right on. My quick anytimes, I got 8. I'm going Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, and Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has really let me down these last couple weeks, but I like what I saw last week in the O-line getting it going, so I'm backing him again. But, man, if Joe doesn't get it done, I ain't betting Joe no mo. Jared, what you got for us, man? I know you cook up some anytimes.
And then woke up this morning, headed to Walmart. Thought about the date. Looked at the date. Saw 10-14-22. 10-14-22, guys. What do you think? Those are great numbers, right? Went ahead and applied that to our players. Pick players who had the number 10, the number 14, and the number 22. Many of the guys you mentioned today are all, or mostly, have those numbers. And they're the reason behind that. So, look at the numbers on the people's backs. 10, 14, 22. Good numbers. Put them together. Anytime parlay, yes.
I love it. Hey, your odds are the same as ours. I love it.
Hey,
Scott, you were asking earlier. Scott, you were asking how we came up with those picks. That is exactly how.
So where'd 33 come from?
So 1 and 33, then 1 and 33 are two numbers that we both agreed on that just kind of popped out to me and old Miami Mike. And then 80 is 1, 10, 22, 14, and 33 all added up together.
Hey, you guys need to get out of the casino when you're doing stuff like this.
Not the place to be, folks. I'm sorry. Although I will say, the reason that I hit on roulette when I was in Vegas with that guy was supposed to be there. My fingers may have been pointing. This is just where it's looking at on my screen. So I may have come in the wrong order.
You got to go up and to your left. Up and your left.
This guy?
Yep, that's me. That's me.
This guy was supposed to be there. The other two were there. We saw this guy 2 days later, but I saw the numbers 3 and 11, and I decided to put $15 on both 3 and 11 in roulette, and that motherfucker hit. So I'm not mad at their strategy. However, I don't love their execution of said strategy. But I do like a few of their plays. I like the DK Metcalf play. I like the
You know what?
play.
Hold on. Let me before you just try to shit on our method, all right? Let me give you one of the best. At number 1, like Jared said, these are the jerseys and the numbers on the back of the jersey. So you can play along, folks. Number 1, Jamar Chase. Okay? Number 10, Tyreek Hill. Number 14, Stephon Diggs. Number 22, you got options here, people. I went with Christian McCaffrey, but that's because I like the Panthers against the Rams. I think they open it up and feed him the fucking football. But you could also go Jeff Wilson. You could also go Mark Ingram. All right? And then at 33, you got Aaron Jones, and there's not a lot of 33s in the league. We found this out the hard way today after
in the middle of my
long research.
These motherfuckers are like, hey, bro, can you send me all the number 33s?
Well, we were driving, so what do you want us to do?
Throw a few of those out there that y'all were interested.
Well, we made it safely, all right?
Nichols, Dari Ogunbowale,
Well, yeah, I'm not.
Foreman, and Drinkwine's Shavonte Williams, who is done for the year.
Thanks, Trav. Another big factor in that fantasy matchup this week. But guess who? So there is only 133 really that's of any relevance in the league, is basically what Travis also just reiterated. That is Aaron Jones. But guess who is a former 33 that I and we fucking love this week? Dalvin fucking Cook. Dalvin fucking Cook. Absolutely love it.
Where was the number 6? Because y'all were asking me about number 6s.
I came up with the 6. Jared hated the 6 because it was 33. It was 3 plus 3 to get the 6.
You guys were sitting at the casino.
Nope, we were sitting in my truck. We were driving over a mountain with zero service. So yeah, we started cooking shit up.
Hey, you know what? I love it. That's how big time parlay stories are made.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
You want to hear a real ugly one?
Don't know if you know this, but Mexican pizzas are back.
Hey, it's time to shut it down. Jared's eating.
Oh, yeah.
So Jared, can we just let's just observe Jared as he decides, because I've seen how he eats a taco. I'm a little curious as to how he eats a pizza. Do you go crust first? Do you eat it from the side? What do you do here?
Well, it's cut into triangles. It's a pizza.
I thought you were getting Taco Bell.
Taco, and it seems pretty straightforward how to eat a taco, and I've seen how you eat a taco. So you ate the ass end of the taco, bro. You ate the bottom. I have a picture. I can show the people what you ate out of a taco.
Yeah, it was some weird shit. It was some serial killer bites.
It was very.
I don't know why you guys judge me. I don't know why I'm so judged.
Because you're the only one who eats.
Yeah, you're kind of putting yourself out there for the world to judge your eating.
Is that Asian thing?
No, dude.
Okay, sorry. I'm excited.
I thought you were getting Taco Bell. Where the fuck did pizza come from?
Yeah, where did you get pizza?
He did. He got a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell. You guys gotta keep up.
Yeah, keep up. Mexican pizzas are back.
Cool.
All right, week 6.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. This show sucks. I'm getting out of here.
Hey, Mike.
Yo.
I think the Powerball's about to go.
Oh shit! Yeah, Mega Millions and Powerball, almost 500 million.
What numbers we picked, boys?
I hope it hits.
1, 10, 14, 22, and 33. With what do we have the magic ball as? Scotty, 13.
Oh, and just in case folks are curious, look at the top of this. If you can see it, the bottom of a taco, a big ass bite taken out. Who eats?
We'll have to do a screen share maybe to start the show next week.
I'll have to share this with the people.
Hey, but one more anytime I want to say with part of that system, this one is ugly. This one we had to stretch for, all right? Travis Etienne, Jerry Jeudy, Chris Godwin, Mark Ingram, and Isaiah McKenzie. I will say, not a lot of money on that. Wins a lot of money in return.
It's ugly, but I kind of like it.
It's one of those ones where you're like, nah, there's no way that hits, and then it definitely hits. It's like,
ugly, but I kind of fucking love it, to be honest.
Exactly.
I might have to hop on that.
Dude,
Hope you guys win.
you know what you could hop on?
You know, are you gonna say it, or you want me to guess?
You have to say what?
What could it be, Jared?
Mexican pizza.
All right, we're entering strange territory here.
I do love the Mexican pizza. I'm glad it's back.
Do they have them in Seattle?
They do, because we also have Taco Bells, believe it or not, and they're pretty consistent wherever you go.
Sure.
Actually, at one point, Uber Eats had you get a free Mexican pizza when you spend $20 or more.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Well,
That's pretty easy to do on Uber Eats. Everybody's getting free Mexican pizzas.
no matter what, you're spending at least $20.
Exactly.
Mexican pizza for everyone.
Mexican pizza for the people.
All right, guys. Again, this show sucks. I'm going to drink a beer and enjoy the rest of this night. I appreciate you guys being here.
Robbie Coltrane, the actor that played Hagrid, he died today. I'm so sorry, folks, to leave on a negative. R.I.P.
Damn. Pour one out for the homie.
R.I.P. Hagrid.
Bottoms up. R.I.P. to Hagrid.
Some pizzas for you, dog.